All right. We are officially live. Welcome back to the Kick Live Show. We got a good amount to talk about here on today's show, as we usually do. Fantastic Four First Steps dropped this weekend, and there are some questions that I have. Was it enough to actually set up Avengers Doomsday and the rest of these movies coming on? We will see and we'll have a discussion here. We're going to be doing our spoiler review on it right now. We'll go the first 10 minutes. We won't talk any spoilers, but after that, we'll get into some spoilers here and we'll let you know exactly when we're diving into it. But then additionally, a lot of stuff happened over at Comic-Con, San Diego Comic-Con here this weekend. So we want to talk about Ultimate Spider-Man. That's supposed to be ending here in December, Christmas Eve specifically. Then we got some stuff coming over on the DC side. And then we got a little bit more detail and information on what Ultimate Endgame is supposed to look like. And so there's some Doom stuff that's coming. So listen, all in all, we got some exciting stuff to talk about. But what's going on with you, Des? How you doing?
Oh man, I'm doing lovely. I want to apologize for being late. That's my fault this time. Just had some complications with the computer, so had to get that up and running right.
No, we're good. We're here. We're gonna talk about a lot of things. Like I said, we are gonna be talking some spoilers here on Fantastic Four, but not yet. Not yet. We're gonna dive in. We'll let you know exactly when we're gonna go into some spoilers here. But first, initially, man, I want to talk about this. What were your overall thoughts about Fantastic Four First Steps? Initial thought. Remember, we're not talking spoilers yet. Just the initial thoughts.
I'm gonna be the one that they hate.
What's going on, Brick?
I do not think that the Fantastic Curse is broken yet.
Okay. Why do you think so?
There are some good things I like about the movie. We'll get into later. There's some gripes I have about the movie. Personally, I just felt that it was very flat-based the whole time. I never got that climax I needed in a movie, and that really just got to me for me. And I also felt like I didn't really gravitate towards any of the characters that much, but that's my personal opinion.
Okay, so what was it in your opinion? So what did you like about? So all right, what are the things that you did like? And like I said, we're keeping it spoiler free for now. But what are the things that you did initially like?
CGI was top tier.
Okay.
I don't care what anyone says. CGI was top tier. Of course, without too much spoilers, the way they made Galactus, loved it. It was they had to save him from what they did because the way they made him in the last movie, they had no way but to go up. Okay, that was horrible. I do like the fact of the difference with all the characters as well. I felt like each character had their own individual storyline going on at the same time, and it did not entangle and get messy.
Okay.
And I kind of like that. Like, I got a little bit of Johnny, I got a little bit of Thing, I got a little bit of Sue, at the same time, a little bit of Reed, and at no point was I like, there's too much going on.
Okay. What did you think about like the individual? What's going on, Quanos? Jenna, I hope I said that right. What's going on?
What's going on, sis? That's my sister.
Oh, okay. All right. I was like, I 100% butchered that name. Yeah, it was. So it was kind of one of those things where, so like, if we're talking non-spoilers, one of the things I will say, so like top to bottom, I love the world that they were in, right? I thought that was like that like 60s futuristic vibe. Like I thought
that was cool.
It was really cool, man. Because of course it's like, it's from the 1960s. You can see it based on like how they're dressing,
But you had a futuristic vibe with it too, though.
Yeah, exactly. But you had the futuristic vibe, and of course, like the technology and everything like that. That was also like superbly well done, in my opinion. So I really enjoy just like visually, like everything to me was like very visually appealing, overall. Especially like what I thought was the best scene in the movie, which we'll talk about a little bit later on. I thought that was really done well from like a visual perspective. I thought it was really good. I felt like it felt like the first family. So like me personally, like I'm in a different boat than you. I actually really enjoyed the movie. Like I thoroughly enjoyed the movie. I have a lot of gripes, and we'll get into the gripes. And then when I get into the gripes, y'all probably think I hate the movie, but I like I'm telling you now, I actually really enjoyed it, but I'm just very critical of things a lot of the time. So therefore, we'll go through that.
Well, let me interject real quick too. I don't
Yeah,
think too what you love in the movie, and I'm not saying I hate the movie.
yeah,
You know, it's just I think it was overhyped. I might want to say,
okay.
but there are some great things I do love about it, and I can get deeper into those when we get to the spoiler part.
Spoilers. Yeah,
Just like you're gonna have some gripes, that doesn't necessarily mean you hate it. It's just
right.
that we both have certain critiques we expect out of movies.
Yeah, for sure. There are definitely some areas in the movie where I'm just like, I felt like I had to turn my brain off in order for me to be like, I'm going to accept this.
I think I know. I think I know one of those scenes. I think I know.
I'm going to ignore what I know about life, and I'm just going to let this ride out. Okay.
So without saying a specific scene, okay,
Yeah.
there was a scene. This is why I said I think I know what you're talking about. I remember looking around the whole movie theater, and I was like, "Am I the only one right now that's kind of like, what the heck is going on?"
Yeah, I hear you. I want to check in on some of what you guys are saying in the comments. So Brig said here is like this movie in general, despite what the IP offers, I do feel it was the first movie in a while with a solid through line and problems and attempted solutions, developing characters and relationships, which I definitely
I agree.
Agree with on that part. Quanos had mentioned here, he was like, the plot was simple and clean. I like how it actually showed that they were still scientists and explorers at their core, which once again is something that I thought was very well done. I thought like overall they did make it feel like a first family, right? And I felt like for some of the other previous movies that it wasn't quite that. Like I felt like that aspect of it was missing a little bit. And I
It was
do
a
feel
joke
like
with the previous movies.
yeah, I felt that way. I felt the best one that it had it was the I usually forget the director's name, but the one with Jessica Alba. Like I felt like they actually did a decent job of the dynamic between family, especially more so with like Ben and Johnny. I felt like that was really strong in terms of just like the family dynamic. I thought they did a really good job of that. And then we had the one with like Michael B. Jordan, which I mean,
Oh no,
dang man,
I didn't know
that one hurts. That one hurts everybody in their feelings. But you know, I want to, you know, I agree with this. I agree with Quanos on that one. Like they felt like they were actually smart. Even like Johnny had a really solid moment here where I thought they did a very different spin on Johnny, which I actually liked. I think that throughout the movie he became not my favorite character, but like one of my favorite characters throughout the movie. I thought he did Johnny very well, but he may not be your typical Johnny that you expect. And that's the only thing. Like if you were looking for that Johnny, you probably missed that.
And that was
a little bit. Yeah.
And I think that was my issue with him. Me and you talked over the phone with it not being the Johnny I was waiting for. It definitely did not hit the same with Johnny.
Yeah, for sure. And thank you for Quanos for validating
I agree.
But let us know. Yes, we are very critical. Like I remember I was talking to my wife after because I went to watch it with her. First time that we've been able to go see a movie together, and I think since like Multiverse of Madness.
Oh man,
it's like, been a while. It's been a long time, man, since we've been able to do that. That's what happens when you have four kiddos, right? But you know, it was like I remember, you know, I got a movie and I was telling her about some of the things that I didn't like about it. She was like, "Do you even like the movie?" I'm like, "I do." Like I really do. Like I gave the movie an 8 out of 10. I gave it an 8 out of 10. I promise you. This is just how my brain is wired. I'm sorry.
Listen, I think I had the same conversation because it was like, listen, in the comic books, A, B, and C, but in this, A, B, and C didn't make sense. And I'm looking at the computer. I'm looking, and my brain's not computing. 1 + 1 is equaling 10 right now.
Yeah, and that's not how I'm used to. And with that, you say 1 + 1 = 10. One of the things that I actually really enjoyed about this film is how they utilized Reed Richards. I thought this was the first Fantastic Four movie where I really saw Reed use like all of his brain. You know what I mean? This was the first time I've seen that in a movie, and for that was really gratifying for me. And I think that's, in my opinion, one of the reasons why I love the movie so much is because while like some of the things that he did, I was just like, you are a doo-doo head, but at the same
time, listen.
You know, it was a reminder, you know, to me of like, okay, this you get the good and the bad with Reed. And it made me feel like for a second I was kind of reading the comic book a little bit, you know?
Yeah, see, my sister understands perfectly fine what I be getting upset about with some of these movies.
Yeah.
She gets it.
It's a good, as he be like, it's a great movie, but the writers that made it bad.
Yes. It be like that sometimes.
I feel you. Yeah, I felt like this movie. Felt in this movie, the Human Torch was a NASA astronaut level genius and just also kind of frivolous. Yeah, what I enjoyed about Johnny was like they didn't make him just look like an idiot. You know, they actually gave him there was a story there, and they did the plot well, right? Like and I felt like the things that he did made sense. It just felt a little off with his character because we know, once again, when we get into spoilers, we're about when we get to about 13 minutes in, we're gonna start talking some spoilers. Yeah. We're just giving y'all some time, you know, just if you're watching this, to let you know. But yeah,
Quanos hit it right on the nail. Yes. It's so hard to turn your comic book brain off when you watch these movies too. You tell yourself this character did XYZ in issue 47, but in reality, that can't happen in a 90-minute film.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like the way
brain.
Because me and you read the story, like read the first time that Galactus, like in preparation for the movie, me and you read the first time that Galactus showed it. Right, you did a video on it that showed up on Earth, and you were just like, you know what? Maybe y'all should have took a little bit more from this comic to make it make sense, because
they didn't even have Galactus in the Gucci suit. Remember, he showed up in the green and red Gucci.
But I'll say this though, so I like what they gave us for Reed, but if you wanted like comic book Reed, you didn't quite get comic book Reed, right? No. What you got was like, even all right. You ready to talk spoilers now, or are we still keeping it down? We didn't talk about Galactus yet. We didn't talk about Galactus yet. Non-spoiler.
So hold on.
Let's talk about Galactus non-spoiler.
After let's put it this way. After we talk about Galactus non-spoiler
and Silver Surfer,
and I was gonna say and Silver Surfer, then we are going to get into the spoilers. So people, if you don't want to deal with the spoilers after we talk about Silver Surfer, that is your chance to say, hey, I don't want to see this part.
Right. All right, I appreciate that. What's going on? What's going on, Derek?
What's going on, Derek?
What's going on, Rady? I appreciate you, Rady. So Galactus. I'll say this about Galactus.
Okay.
Man, it was satisfying seeing his ass.
Yes.
So satisfying. Yes. Wow. Not a cloud. He is not a cloud.
Physical. It was, you know, and I think too, again, this isn't spoilers right now. Yeah. Even down to his voice. I was intrigued by hearing it. It wasn't a nuisance of a voice.
Yeah.
You know,
his voice was phenomenal.
But sometimes when you think of gods in movies or these godlike entities, they put so many effects on their voice that it's actually annoying to listen to them. Yeah. This was spot on.
No, this was truly spot on. There's a couple moments where Galactus did a couple of things where there's some things I didn't like about what they did with Galactus, and I'll talk about those in detail. But there was some things that they did with Galactus where I was like, that was just so sly, but damn, that was good. I love it. I love what they did there. But so Galactus, the dude, he looked scary.
Yep.
He looks scary.
Even simple things with his eyes changing back and forth,
mm-hmm.
and it went with his emotions. I was like, oh.
When you see him in comparison to the Fantastic Four, you're just like, oh crap,
yeah,
these dudes have zero chance whatsoever.
I was looking up at the screen like this. Hold on.
Right? I was like, nah, they don't have a chance.
Yeah, no, you really felt the size comparison difference.
Which in all honesty, when was the last time that we watched a movie, an MCU movie, where we said, yo, you know what? This is going to be hard for them. Yeah. We haven't seen it in a long time. Like, we saw Thanos, and Thanos was the last one where we said, nah, they don't really have a chance. You know what I mean? Like, I don't really see. They're gonna have to be real smart, and that's what they had to do. They had to be real smart. Even though me and time traveling BS, you know how I feel about that.
We're not gonna get into that.
But still, they had to utilize their brain. They had to make sacrifices. They didn't just able to just leave and it was just a simple very thing for them. No, like they had to like really try. Yeah. And I felt like with Galactus, they had to really try, although towards the end, it kind of got a little unreal. But
here's what I will say, and this is non-spoiler too, so I can say it. I'm just glad because Galactus is such an entity that I don't think they can just defeat normally. I'm just glad it didn't end with the whole friendship BS that we've been getting in a lot of movies.
Well, we saw that with Thunderbolts, right? Thunderbolts. Yeah. And that's the thing about it. And this is why me and you said this from the very beginning with Thunderbolts. We were just like, you know what? I don't think that you had the right team to try to fight Sentry.
And we said that before,
and that was the problem. Yeah, before we saw the movie, we're just like, we know how this movie ends because it's the only way it can end.
Yeah, you're not. They need a way stronger team to be Void. Yeah. What was your thoughts on this Silver Surfer?
Wait, what? I can't wait to talk about the plot.
Yo, leave Herbie alone. Herbie was cool.
No, at the end though. Well, yeah,
I know.
No, actually, you don't understand. It was a different version. No, listen.
Listen, hold on. In Herbie's defense, non-spoiler, the tape was changed. Leave him alone.
Yeah, you understand. Just like how the tape was changed, so can. We'll talk about that later. Oh my gosh. No, Thunderbolts is fine. All I'm saying is that like that was the only way that they could realistically do it. You know what I mean? Like that's all I'm saying. Silver Surfer. All right. Let's talk Silver Surfer real quick. Didn't get in the way. I'll say that. That's how I feel about Silver Surfer. I actually, for the most part, thought that what they gave us was good enough. They just missed
the mark.
Really giving us what we could have gotten from Shia LaBeouf, right? They really missed an opportunity here, especially with the way that they went with Invisible Woman. I'm like, you could have really actually dived in there and brought the emotion in, but you kind of just like stayed back a little bit. And if you had just done like two things, actually even just one thing,
I know just saying, yep.
You could have had that thought. You could have really landed, the emotional aspect of it, but you didn't do that.
They missed that mark they needed to really drag the audience in with that character. There was nothing to make that character relevant besides Galactus because they missed that mark.
Yeah, and here's the thing too. She looked really cool. Like she looked really cool.
I don't think she did bad. That's that writer's issue that my sister brought up earlier though.
Yeah.
The writers missed the mark with that character.
Yeah, I agree with that one. I didn't like I didn't like how Silver Surfer story was literally copy and paste from the 07 movie. It was, but and that's my problem. That's part of my problem too, because they could have went a little bit further with it, and we'll talk about how they could have done that in a second. But if they're saving that's the thing too, Quans. I think that they may be saving for Norrin, and that might have been why. Yeah.
Well, there's still a reason why I'm at least saying that. I can't speak for Goofy, but there's a reason I'm seeing it, and I'll explain that once we get to the spoiler size.
Rick said something that I'll bring up in a little bit here. That kind of brings it to my point a little bit. But it's a little bit further than that too.
Yeah, at least for what I'm thinking of. So let's get into spoilers. So this is everybody's warning. We are about to get into spoilers. So listen, we love you guys. If you got to get off, we fully understand why you're getting off. No hard feelings, but we are getting into spoilers right now. Where do you want to start?
Where do I want to start? So here's where I want to kind of want to get into it. So when Silver Surfer pops up, right? Okay. And she says, "Oh, I herald Galactus's comeback. I heralded Galactus. You can't hide your kids. You can't hide your wife. I'm coming." like you know what I mean? That part was fine. Where I they kind of lost me is, once again, I learned this on Friday. There's the story, right, which is just like what this is supposed to do. Yep. And then there's the plot, like how things are done. I understand that Reed Richards is like a great mind, fantastic mind. But I don't understand how. Somebody please explain to me. I'm not a science guy. How are they able to create a ship that could travel at light year speed during that particular time? Like, how did they get that type of science?
I can answer that. It's still futuristic, even though it's in the past. So I mean, like,
am I watching Guardian? Like, they're up until this point, they established this in the movie because Johnny was asking Reed to go back into space. Which, by the way, it was never really clear why Johnny really wanted to go back into space in the first place.
No. I think it was just the thing of he loved space. He kept saying it. He loved space.
Okay, all right.
He just wanted to go.
Fine. But like, what I couldn't understand was like, you hadn't thought about probably going back into space, but then all of a sudden you were just like, "Oh, now I got the ship. We could travel light years. We're gonna be doing jumps, and then we're gonna end up. We're number one. You were also able to track where Silver Surfer was already, where other planets were already consumed. How the hell was that possible, bro?
Yeah. So I think what it is I can't speak for the ship, but he had already been tracking what was going on and never said nothing. And he does that in the comic books too.
Fair. Yeah,
keep in mind, even with Godzilla, he knew Godzilla was underground. He always knows what's going on, but doesn't speak on it.
Okay, fair. So he be keeping things up his sleeve.
Yeah,
but still, the ability to be able to create a ship that could travel like that, I found that very hard to believe. Also, why would you go to see Galactus
with your pregnant wife?
Exactly. With I don't know. Once again, I don't know science that well. I'm not a science guy. That was my worst subject in school. Right. I did really well in math, but for some reason science just didn't compute to me.
Listen,
why would you bring your wife at that altitude? I just feel like maybe just wouldn't make sense.
Listen, I thought that too. Soon as I seen there was 4 spacesuits, I said, bro, I know you were not about to put her in that spacesuit.
But they did.
Yeah, there's a couple of things too. One of my biggest gripes with Reed, by the way.
Yeah.
And maybe it's a me thing. I don't like how they didn't display his powers really. And what I mean by that is not his brains, but I mean his elastic powers. He turns into balls and weird shapes and glimpse, and none of that was shown. And I don't mean it has to be goofy, but they didn't really utilize him. And then we've seen in the comics, I think he can stretch like 1,500 feet or something like that. And I just thought it was kind of crazy that Galactus was stretching him,
and he was in pain.
Yeah, and it was like, again, I understand this is movies compared to comics, but it was just like it was such a stretch. And I'm not saying that as a pun. I didn't know how else to word that one.
Yo, this is bad funny. You tell a woman she can't go when you go out with the boys. Maybe that's the reason why you brought her along. That's fair. That's fair, Derek. That's fair.
Derek's smart.
No, I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. When I saw him like screaming and writhing in pain, I'm just like, okay, is it because you're tensing up? The reason why this is not working? I'm like, maybe you can explain that lot. Like maybe that's the logic in all this. But I was just
like he was ripping.
Yeah, I was like, yo, I feel like Elastigirl could stretch further than this, my boy. Like, what's going on? what's going on here for him?
Yeah, and that's why I was seeing like, again, that was really irking me because like, again, yeah, we got to see him do a little stretching in the lab, stuff like that. Maybe he didn't do his Pilates that day. I don't know what the issue was, but like,
I don't know, like maybe his anxiety was kicking in. Like I said, bro, maybe that was the reason why homeboy could the suit was ripping before him. Yeah, the suit was ripping. Yo, bro. By the way, I will say this though: watching Galactus's face while he was doing it was bad funny though.
Galactus was having fun.
Yeah, he was, man.
What does this button do?
Yeah, right. Yo, he looked, like a kid who's playing with a toy and they're just trying to see how much can this toy take. That's exactly what Galactus looked like doing that, man.
It reminds me of the old Stretch Armstrong toys.
Yeah.
But that was my big gripe with him when I was telling you, like, you know, I needed time to process what I was telling you I couldn't really figure out. I really didn't like that about him. I felt like that wasn't Reed enough.
Yeah.
The best thing they got about Reed was when he was like, oh, I'll be locked in my lab later. That's already scheduled in.
Yeah,
and then he was in that lab most of the time.
Yeah,
that is definitely Reed.
That's scheduled for later.
Yeah.
You know what too? Like this is a separate thing. So I understand that this was not an origin movie, right? And I'm completely I understand that wholeheartedly.
I'm glad it wasn't.
I'm glad it wasn't a one of those. But at the same time, and I want to get to this comment that Quanos made. But one of the things that I kind of, if you're gonna go through a montage, right, where you're gonna show once they got their powers, after they got their powers, some of the villains that some of the rogues gallery that they went through and everything like that. Like if you're gonna do that, then why couldn't you at least like show me them actually like what happened when they got up into space, when the cosmic rays hit them? You could have made it a part of the montage too. I just think like you didn't have to like make it a whole thing. Just make it super quick, like how you would make it everything else. That was disappointing to me. I just wanted to see that just a little bit, because if you're gonna show me a montage, then show me the montage. You know, like, that's what I
get what you're saying. And I think too, I mean, I could be wrong. I think we got gypped for some of the villains that were supposed to be in the movie too. Yeah. I don't know if they were supposed to be part of the montage or what they were supposed to do, but like, for example, we were supposed to get oh my god, what's the dude that runs the monkeys?
Red Ghost.
Red Ghost. Yeah. We didn't get Red Ghost
right.
though.
They mentioned his name and then they mentioned the monkeys, and I was just like, so you couldn't.
But we was told months ago they had already had someone.
That's what's funny. This man said that montage was a YouTube show, and not even the extended 3-minute version now that they have. The regular, the back to the old.
It was a Vine.
60 days, 60-second one. Yeah, Red Ghost. At least you could have shown me Homeboy real quick. Like, come on, you showed me Giganto. I get it, because like
that was their first villain.
That was the first villain. That was kind of cool. Whatever. Like, I get it.
I thought that was cool.
I'm like, man, John Malkovich must have felt some type of way. Nah, he still got paid, but still, you know, that point that he wasn't showed, you know.
Yeah, see, he shot scenes and everything, but then they cut him from the movie. Okay, I thought I was like losing it.
And that brings me to this point right here. Yo, this movie should have been like 20 minutes longer than what it was. Like,
well, originally it was supposed to be 2 hours and some change.
Yes, it was. And then they cut some ish, which Red Ghost was one of the things that they cut. I wonder if they actually ever filmed like a quick little montage of them getting their powers, and then they cut that joint too, And
So
then I also wonder if they cut, bro, why did we not get no backstory for Galactus? There was some statements that were made, right, that showed us.
No, we needed visuals though. By the way, before we get into that, I just want to say one of the scenes they cut, because I seen a picture of it today, was Ben on a date with that woman. I do not recall what that woman's name was. But yeah, they went on a date. That was one of the scenes they cut. But I agree with you with Galactus. And when he was like, I used to be a puny human like you, I would have loved to see him in his normal form while he was talking, some glimpse of some catastrophe happening, him somehow turn it, whatever their version of how he became Galactus.
Correct.
That would have been better.
And then also give us the I mean, Surfer like hinted to it, but like really explain to, or really show us that like he's not just doing this for funsies. He doesn't want to just devour worlds. Like he has to. Like he has to eat. You know what I mean?
That was another thing that got to me too, because I do like Galactus. I think Galactus is cool.
Yeah.
And so they kind of made it seem like he just enjoyed doing this in a movie. Like, give me the baby because I'm about to eat. And it's like, that's not Galactus. Galactus says it all the time. He doesn't want to enjoy anybody. He tells people to get off if you can get them off. He tells his heralds, if they can get off the planet, get them off before I get to them.
Exactly. And that to me.
Oh, hold on. My camera's acting blurry. Give me a second.
Yeah, go ahead. Do your thing. So you can still hear us though, right?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay. Yeah, so like that was disappointing to me, because I remember like saying to myself, like, man, because my wife, she's next to me, right? And I look at her a lot when it comes to like these movies, because she's not a comic book reader. So she's asking me questions constantly throughout the movie. And as she's asking me questions, I'm like, you know what? You're right. Like some of this, we can always talk about after the movie, but from like a context of the movie, this actually would have made a lot more sense if they explained this a little bit clearer, but they didn't do that. And I was like, he was like, why does he want to eat the world? And I was like, man, you're right. They didn't explain that. And then this man laser beamed Sue into labor.
Oh man, yeah, that didn't make no type of sense. You understand he could have went into business as a doctor, right?
Yeah, like this man induced her like early. She said there, it's not supposed to happen now.
So sorry, guys.
Powers,
bear with me 1 second. I'm gonna have to sign off and jump right back on. So bear with me 1 second.
Yeah, no problem. So yeah, and then I can't talk about this without Dezzy. I was about to jump into the my favorite scene in the whole movie is probably
all right. I'm back.
All right, cool. My favorite scene in the whole movie is probably like the stupidest scene in the entire movie, and that was them running away from Galactus and Silver Surfer. Like that scene was we might spend 10-15 minutes just on this one scene. There is so much to unpack.
Hold on. Before we even get to that, can we start?
What's up, Jay?
Can we start like maybe 10 minutes before that? What led up to that? Why did they land their ship into another ship?
True.
The enemy ship.
Yes.
It didn't have to take a 20-minute walk.
Yeah. And then, bro. Yeah, also, why they try to play me and try to tell me that Johnny ain't the playboy? You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Because they would talk. I remember when Sue was like, "Oh, he's single," and Johnny was like, come on, Johnny, not my Johnny, not my Johnny.
Don't act like Johnny don't pull girls.
Come on, fam. He wanted the alien Punani alone. That's all he wanted. He just wanted the alien Punani. He ain't wanted that Earth. Stop it.
Listen,
stop playing with me.
Listen. This man went and did Rosetta Stone on his own to figure out her language.
Come on, fam. in any what he doesn't understand though is that she was already spoken for, which is another thing I gotta say.
So that's the part that I wanted to bring up. They missed with her. Why did we never get no audio from her husband?
From facts. That's what happened to Norin.
You treated her like a single mom. That's not how her story plays out.
Facts. Come on, fam. You trying to play me? You couldn't have even just said Norin was in this universe.
They didn't have to do much with all the audio that was circulating around. All they needed was any male. It could have been one of the directors who did the male audio.
Yeah, hold on. I see what y'all are saying. Their ship got pulled in. We're well aware of the fact that the ship got pulled in. They shouldn't have been there in the first place.
Exactly.
That we're trying to make, fam.
Listen, okay. If the house is on fire, you don't run in for no reason.
Yeah, bro, you have no idea who this Galactus is. But you saw Silver Surfer come out, you just like, nah, fam, she look a little different. And then you said, you know what, we're gonna go see who her boss is.
Listen, I've learned one thing from wrestling. If you can't beat the henchman, you probably shouldn't fight the boss.
Yeah. Johnny went up and grabbed that board, and then she was just like, I can't repeat it. I don't know what she said. I don't know what she said.
Quanos,
she said, "Good luck."
Done. I'm done.
That's all she said. She said, "Good luck." That's what she said. She said, well, we all know. Listen. I'm not gonna confirm nor deny what Quano said. All I'm saying,
that's what said. I'm done.
is that I wouldn't be going towards the danger. Is all I'm saying. Wow. Right. No, so I get it. They were saving Norin. I'm just saying, like, they could have just like hinted that like he was there.
That's what we're saying.
Like,
we don't need to see. You know what I'm saying? We didn't see who it was, or the voice didn't have to fully fit because again, in a different dimension or galaxy, whatever, it could be a character. We're just saying though, the fact that they never said she originally sacrificed herself to protect him. So to not ever implicate his voice, I just thought was missing that mark.
It was because all we heard was Ashala, and I was like, is that her mother? Is that like her daughter? Is that like who exactly? Is that her friend? Like, are we saying that like, is she? I mean, no offense, but like, is she LGBTQ? Is that what they're trying to say about?
I don't know.
I have no idea. Like, I wasn't sure. So I'm like,
is that even her biological kid?
That was exactly. Was that her actual child, or was she just like a teacher or something? I don't know. They were not clear with that. And all I'm saying is that I just wanted to know more. Yeah. If it was any of the things that I mentioned, I just wanted to know more. And I would have felt better if they had shown us more with her. They showed us a little bit and just not enough for us once again. Because when Johnny did the whole thing and the watch and transmitted everything, I was just like, yeah, okay, she's feeling emotions.
That was a cool scene, by the way. I just think they dropped the ball a little bit.
It was dope, but I'm just saying, go deeper with that. Go deeper with that. I said the same thing about the Marvels. Remember, I know a lot of people don't like the Marvels. Forgive me for crossing this, but like with Captain Marvel, and of course, I forget what the villain's name is, bro. What was her?
Why am I drawing a blank?
I don't remember. I don't remember the villain's name. I'm sorry, y'all.
Yeah, I'm drawing a blank. Oh my!
But I was just like, why again? Did we like? She was like, oh, my people, they lost everything. Can we see them lose it though? Like, could you just show me them lose it? That's it. That's all I'm saying. Just show.
Darbin.
Show me the loss. That's all.
The pain, the suffering. We need the visual, emotional.
Did her parents die? Did she lose her parents? Did she lose a loved one? Can you show it to me so that way I can feel an emotional connection? Same thing with Captain Marvel. Oh, you showed us a quick glimpse of her destroying, the Supreme Intelligence. Like, no, show us like how that really bothered her after. Not just this one little moment where she was expressing it to, Miss Marvel and Monica. No, like, it's just what I'm saying. Show it to me.
Break. Look at Brick's last comic. Can we pull that up?
Which one?
the last one he did about, yeah. Honestly, Invisible Woman's speech to Earth was like the talk you give to your firstborn when you have a second kid.
I mean, bro,
I don't think he's wrong.
I don't think he's, which then brings me to what happened before that. So Galactus obviously asked for their child, and they said, nah, fam. That would my Franklin, nope. We ain't giving you homie, giving you a little homie. And then Reed, I'm gonna tell you this right now. This is the most Reed thing that Reed did in the entire movie.
Thinking about offering his son?
Yeah, he was like, yeah, they asked for too high a price. And it was like, what was the price? He was like, our child.
Which it's like, Reed, you didn't have to say that.
Oh my God. But it was the most Reed thing that he did in this movie.
Yep. Quanos, I agree with what Quanos said. He said even something as short like Thanos showing how Titan was with the reality stone. That's what we're asking for. That was very short, but we understood what Thanos was, what his objective was, why he felt that way. We felt the connection with the character because we seen the pain.
Correct. And that would have been amazing to see with Galactus and see that with Silver Surfer. Like, to me, the extra 20 minutes that I wanted or whatever for the movie, like, part of that would be it. Part of it would be
B-rolls to help us understand some of the stuff.
The backstory for Silver Surfer, the backstory for Galactus, and then also a little quick montage here of them getting their powers, showing us Red Ghost, showing us a little bit more what happened with Mole Man. Like, just more things like that, I think would have moved the story along a little bit. Also, man, I gotta say this. I wanted more Ben Grimm.
100%.
He didn't get enough. And every scene that he was in,
I loved how he was.
He was, what's his name? I'm gonna screw his name up. I'm not going to say it. But like, dude was
lift the car.
He
want me to lift it?
Personally, he was my favorite character in this movie. Without question.
Remember,
he was my favorite character in this movie.
Ben was my favorite. He did not get everything. A lot of time, but he was my favorite. I even thought it was funny how they gave a little credit to
Ebon. Thank you, Ebon.
The throwback movie where he was playing with the toy and Ben destroyed it. Because that happened in the older movie too, and it was just funny to me.
Yeah, the whole movie, I was like, I got to get used to. The whole movie, I was like, I got to get used to this Reed until that moment, and I was like, there he is, exactly.
Listen, even the argument between him and Sue, that was so realistic to me for them.
Honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you. I'm not embarrassed to say this. When they were having that little dialogue, a little tear came to my eye because I was just like, I feel that emotion because it was there. It was right there and I will say this: a lot of us believe, right, that like Reed is on the spectrum, right? Like Reed Richards is on the spectrum, and I felt like that's what she was saying when she was like, "Sometimes you being you hurts me." You know what I mean? So like, obviously, she's like, "I've accepted who you are," but at the same time, like you being you, it's painful. And it reminded me of an episode of like, I don't know if you guys watched The Good Doctor.
Is that the one with the doctor who has autism? He also played on Bates Motel, I think. Yeah,
like I love that. I absolutely love that show.
I haven't seen every episode, but I have seen some.
Yeah, I absolutely love that show. And for me, who has a son who's on the spectrum, you know what I mean? Like certain things, shows like that, I just love watching those things. So like for me, I look at that and I was just like, perfect scene. Change nothing.
Even though she pisses me off on Rivals. Yeah, Sue does that to me too.
That's fair. Yeah, so I to me it kind of reminded me of a scene from The Good Doctor, like him and his wife. They both husband and wives, right? They both have that same dynamic and dialogue in their conversations, and I thought that was beautiful to watch. And like I said, it got me a little teary-eyed because I was like, yes.
So hold on, I just want to chime in. Can we bring up what Brick said so that way? Because I just want to chime in and tell him my opinion.
This one?
Yeah.
Okay.
So he said, I'll be honest, every scene with Jess, Reed, and Sue was so cringe. I guess in a realistic way, according to you married people. And first 2 minutes made me think, damn, I don't know if I like this. So here's my thing with them. I love the fact of, and it's not even about us being married. We're comic book people, diehard comic book people. So I don't feel like in the old Fantastic Four movies, I felt a genuine chemistry between these two characters. I'm not saying the characters individually were bad, but these two didn't really mesh together in the other movies. I felt like these actors / actresses really meshed, like they were dating in real life. Like they really made it come together. So I felt like I was really watching them really date. I felt like I was there, you know, everything except for when they conceived, I was there. Like in the argument, even the argument when she's like, you thought of sacrificing our kid. That's something that Reed would do. We know Reed. So her anger felt so genuine. Like it's like something in her head tapped when she was doing that scene.
Yeah.
Like, you really sacrificed my real baby. And I just felt the emotion. So that's why I love the chemistry with them too.
Yeah, I felt it was real I feel like they have real chemistry. Like personally, I felt the connection between both of them. I thought, like I said, for me, once again, I guess maybe I think about like my marriage. You know what I mean? I've been with my wife now for almost 11 years. It'll be 11 years in August, and we've been together for almost 16 years. So like I understood what was happening, right? You know, like sort of like on screen. And you guys said it felt like it was cringe. I'm like, not really to me. Like I felt like it was two people who understand who each other are and are working within the confines of how their marriage works. You know what I mean? So each person's marriage, by the way, looks different. And I've seen that already, you know, being around other married couples. So for me personally, like I enjoyed it and I loved it for that reason. Like me and my wife were eating up, like whatever, like the dynamic that they had between each other. Like there were times where me and her were like nudging each other, like,
yo, same thing. Yo.
When she was like, sometimes you hurts me, I was like, facts.
It's like we understand it, but I definitely do think the chemistry was really felt with their scenes.
Yeah,
like even the scene where, you know, Franklin was about to be born. I felt, as a father, I felt like Reed was really like about to be a father for her first time. Like the emotion was there.
Yeah,
they complimented each other.
Like him being terrified, like you could see it, like him being terrified, but also being overly concerned. Like those are just some things. Like I thought were this really good. But I get what Qualis is saying. Like they got over it real quick. Yeah, because they had to for a movie. I mean, but you're right though. That would have been something that would have been going on for about a week long, man. She would have been pissed for about a week.
What? No dinner, no nothing. What you mean, some invisible punches?
Right, with her powers too. You know, shoot,
technically, she has the craziest powers. Because did you know that if she fully conceals the light spectrum, you can burn to death?
Yeah,
that's it. Yo, now imagine if she did that to her enemies.
Yo, she is. I mean, well, clearly we already know this. She's the most powerful of the Fantastic Four. Like without
not anymore.
Without. Well, it's not the Fantastic Five anymore. It's not the Fantastic Five. We're not doing that. We're denouncing that.
Listen, Franklin is here. Fantastic Five. Get the onesies.
But let's talk about this, right? So what I was kind of upset about, man, is that I just felt like the entire civilization really pissed me off because they done said, oh, they asked for our child and we said no. And you were just like, hold on. So like 8 billion people now have to die because you didn't want to give up your child. And you trying to tell me that nobody, not one time, tried to break into the Baxter building? They wouldn't have got in. But I'm just saying, like, we didn't see And then she had the audacity to walk in down. Now, to be fair, like ain't nobody gonna do nothing to her. Like if she,
I was
if
going to
they-
say, who's
if
going to do
they-
something to her,
if
though?
they even try, bro. Like let's be real. Like you couldn't. Like you know what I mean?
Well, I mean, even if you could, let's keep it a buck too. Franklin was hiding his powers at that point. So even if you did try, don't let Franklin activate his powers on you.
True, exactly. So that's what I'm saying. Like, but the thing about it is, I just felt like the people were too kind. There's just they weren't
even throwing stuff through the windows. Like,
they were just yelling, and I was just like, man, no, I didn't want to see no yelling. I expected somebody to try to do something crazy. You know what I mean?
Listen, let them pull that in Gotham and watch what happens.
Right, bro.
You don't want Joker trying to take your baby.
Yeah, man. Like, nah, fam. That to me, I just felt like civilization was lying.
Look, Nigel said they definitely don't have social media in that universe.
For real. They would have been berated easily, bro. They'd have been canceled. They would have lost all of their endorsements. Like, nah, man. They were worshipped too much as gods. That's what it was. The Fantastic Four were Reed Richards is the smartest and the richest man in, well, we thought maybe he was, but there was a vacant chair that we kept on seeing, you know, that said Latveria on it. What happened?
So Yuri G said, "Oh, in Gotham, Cameron voice, couples die every day."
The crazy thing to me too was that like when there was, first and foremost, they're trying to find a way to teleport Galactus to the end of the world or whatever the case is, or whatever they're trying to teleport him to, right?
Yep.
And they convinced the entire population of people to give up energy.
Mm-hmm. That's happening where? Because people are selfish.
Like you even like what happened? The only place that said no was Latveria, which of course which is when we knew that the vacancy of Latveria. That's when we knew that there was a doom in this universe. Like that was at that point. Like,
bro, let's keep it a buck. People lose power and they still try to turn their AC on.
Yeah.
You want like what?
That was when I was just like, nah, like, bro, these population of people, they're too nice, bro. You are going to give up your energy consumption as well, fam? Nah, bro. That wasn't happening.
And then on top of that, let's vacate the city, bring Galactus to the most popular part of the city, and it's okay if your home gets destroyed.
Oh, I mixed it up. They were trying to teleport the Earth to a different.
At that time,
My fault. I mixed it up. Yeah. I honestly, I don't even understand how any of that happened. But of course, we did get the scene we did get the beard. And now, of course, because my man didn't want to use up any energy, so therefore he stopped shaving. We didn't get that moment. Fine, I like it.
So Brick, we're not saying we wouldn't do things in the dark if something was happening. The point we're making is it's not logical that 100% of people would do it. That is not logical.
Guaranteed, bro. You and I, logical people, would be like, dang, like this is really important. But this may hit some of y'all, but let's talk about this for a second. How many of y'all were just like, bro, I'm not wearing no mask?
How many people were out after curfew?
You kidding me? Something as simple as that. And people was going to be like, yeah, we're going to use less energy, fam. I got you. We know for a fact that would not be the case.
And that's we get that it's a movie. We look at that. People in hospitals on life support got to turn the electricity off too.
Exactly.
Stop breathing. You're going to stop breathing for the next 48 hours. You better figure it out.
Right. You live in Cali, people were not wearing their masks. That's what I'm saying. But think about that for a second. Like, we know that there is no way that everybody was just going to comply with this. So I just thought it was hilarious, man, that like they decided to that this actually worked.
Hold your breath for 30-second increments. Yo, they got people in there just using the machine with their hands like accordions. Like, okay, we got you. Wait, is that the accordion when you
the little thing? Yeah, man. No, so and even that, like, there was more things that we could get into. The whole thing about like Invisible Woman moving Galactus. Once again, I had to turn my brain off again. I was like,
at that part.
She's using mom power. I get it. That's what's happening. She's using mom power. I'm going to.
No.
I've seen childbirth. I've seen women. I've seen all four of my kids. I know how much energy that takes. So that must be what she's mustering to move Galactus. I don't understand, but I'm going to try to think about how this could potentially work.
They was better off seeing Galactus tripped. And by the way, I still want to know how Galactus jumped into the ocean and you only made that little kitty splash.
Facts.
That's it.
Facts.
Okay.
She technically can't. You got to explain the mathematics and the science to me, and then tell me what's exponential goes to the other, numbers. And then,
I know she's strong,
the derivative of.
I don't think she's moving Galactus, bro.
Tell me where I need to extrapolate, and then I don't understand. I
don't think so.
Oh nah, but listen. She used I'm going to say this. She used mom power. Okay. She used mom power. And that's how she was able to get through it.
Listen, leave Herbie alone.
If you said malice juice, I would believe you on that one. You're right. She did say, the actress, Vanessa Kirby, she did say now that she was dropping some hints, because she does want Malice, that story to come to fruition here before. So she was dropping some hints.
Listen,
maybe that was it.
And I'm just gonna say, listen, we gotta leave Herbie alone. Herbie survived only because his tape got changed. You gotta understand.
You don't understand?
The different tape is like different superpowers.
You don't understand, man? Come on now.
Yeah, I thought he understood when the tape got changed.
Yeah. Come on. No, let's see. Herbie's the true hero. Like, honestly, that's what it is. Like,
Herbie's stronger than Franklin with the different tape.
Yeah, you don't understand. Come on, fam. Like, Herbie really is the actual star of the show. Like, he orchestrated everything from the very beginning.
Yeah,
he orchestrated everything.
He's the reason they have powers.
Yeah, come on, fam. Y'all don't know this yet? Herbie's plot armor was serious, man.
Facts. Listen, Herbie had that Yugi plot armor.
Yeah.
He had the heart of the tapes.
He did. Herbie has a Kryptonian track. When I saw Galactus's hair reach in, I was like, Herbie's done for. My wife looked at me, she was like, yeah, Herbie's done. I was like, and then we saw him at the end, and I was like, how? How? How exactly? When they would go through the black hole thing, that was pretty early. Herbie is a celestial, confirmed. Love it. When they would go to the black hole, first and foremost, that scene was fire. Absolutely fire. It was
how they did the Silver Surfer, where she was kind of like being dragged in and trying to come out.
Yeah.
My only question is it confirmed that she was there for a month?
Yeah, that was the part where I was just like, okay, so this is what the writing is doing. The writing is now saying they're going to give them a month to figure out this plan. That's what the writing. We need to find some place to throw her for a month, and that's the reason.
Herbie's a celestial, confirmed. Yes.
Yeah, 100%. It was an interstellar call. That scene was great.
No, that was fine. Actually, to be
phenomenal.
Real, I like that whole chase scene. I thought that was fire. That
was the best scene of the movie.
That scene was fire.
Best scene of the movie. Well, like, there's no question about it. That was the best scene of the movie.
And like even like how the ship looked like it was falling apart and ripping in. as it was going invisible, and then you see the ship all the way over there, and she's still being sucked in. I thought that was all cool.
Oh, bro, I'm gonna answer this for you, Quanos. The answer is vibranium. That's what that's the answer.
Oh, by the way, hold on. This is a little off topic, but I really want to bring this up because I thought this was funny. So there was a post on Facebook, right? And it was like, what would happen if Wolverine's claws were vibranium instead? And someone was like, well, how do you say you don't read comics without saying you don't read comics? You go first. It's just a whole thread ragging on them.
Yo, tag, yo. That dude just asked a genuine question, bro. Like he just y'all could have just educated him slightly and just said, come on, man. Y'all ain't had to do him like that.
I was reading the comments, yo, they were ragging.
Yeah. No, like I said, that scene was great. The whole Silver Surfer looked phenomenal. Yo, when she reached her hands in and she grabbed Sue's, I was like,
yo. I also I think it was cool too how, granted, we already know Silver Surfer can phase through things, but the way they did it in this movie, I thought was crazy.
The way that they slowed it down, like almost every time, just so you could see, I was like, "This is so good." Oh my gosh!
I want to see how they did it, like behind the scenes, because they did it smooth.
They did do it really smooth. And that was good. That was good. The Galactus, another thing. We keep on jumping around, but Galactus, you know what I liked about him when he turned around and he looked at the Statue of Liberty, I was like, you
little freak. You know what's crazy? You know what I thought of too?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, he think he an Iron Man. Next time.
Yeah. He did. And when he got to the line and he looked and he was like, clever. I was like, oh, yo, his lines were so good, man. Like his lines were so clean and good. All right. This is the last thing that we gotta talk about here, I think. The post-credit scene. Or the mid-credit scene. The post-credit scene is kind of a dud, but it was nice, but it was kind of like that should have been the mid-credit scene, and then the post-credit scene, the mid-credit scene should have been the post-credit scene. And that's what I thought. I told them the difference. I don't really like tell me if I prayed him or something. That wasn't you? That wasn't you that did that?
No.
Okay. I'm just saying, y'all could have helped him out a little bit. Y'all had to do it like that. The coolest part about Galactus was when he turned Silver Surfer by just
tortured Silver Surfer.
Tortured Silver Surfer.
Yep.
Which is also one of the reasons why when he went to Earth and he was finding Fantastic. First and foremost, too, by the way, like, why was he coming to Earth?
Yeah.
Why were you coming to Earth, Galactus? And in what world are you not sending a herald? Like, I don't understand, bro. Yeah, gosh. Once again, why would Galactus himself come to Earth?
Yeah, when he could have sent one of his heralds. He has more than one. It would be cool, by the way, to see the others.
Yeah, it would be. Nah, but they didn't have the rights, I guess, to the other heralds.
Yeah. That's
too many characters in one movie.
That was originally their plan all along. So they might scratch this one.
Yeah. The commentary here was really dope. But that's literally the entire point of exactly. Quando, it's like that's exactly why you have heralds. You have heralds so that you could, have them do these things for you. Oh my gosh!
He forgot he had employees.
Yeah, he had employees for a second there. But the mid-credit scene. So the mid-credit scene, Sue is reading a book to Franklin, who's now 4 years old, and then she goes and steps away here, and then when she walks and comes back, she sees Franklin with Doom, and Doom is and Franklin is touching Doom's face. We don't see his face. I immediately thought I was like, okay, why does he have his mask off? It didn't dawn on me, like, because this is what happened initially. When I saw it, I was just like, I'm pissed, because why would Doom take off his mask? Doom don't take
Yeah.
off his mask. His face is disfigured. Why would he take off his mask? It didn't dawn on me until when I was doing the podcast on Friday with Tony, where I was just like, oh, so I guess he's healing his face then. And maybe Franklin was the one that had him take the mask off himself. And then he healed, and then he saw his face and then healed his face or something like that, or whatever the case is, which I will be honest with you, I hate.
Unless they're gonna unless they're gonna go with that comic book I told you about, the one where Dr. Doom switches bodies with Tony. I'm not saying that's definitely it, but if so, he doesn't need to hide his face. He just hides it because when he's doing his dirt, but regularly he uses Tony's supplies and money to run his business and do stuff he wants to do. That could be the version we're getting.
Yeah, I don't know. It's to me, you think Doom tells him about incursions, and he knows about his power. Somehow Franklin heals his face. They'll go to 6 months and switches up his actual plans when he gets there. I don't know. It to me, like, the whole thing that I thought would have been cool is like, yes, it's RDJ, but RDJ, you never see him because he's always wearing the mask. And now this was just, to me, was just a way to get him to be able to take off his mask, when the movie when they're doing Avengers Doomsday. And to me, I feel like that's just kind of a cheap way of doing that. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I could agree with that.
And exactly that, like, that's where I'm at here, Yuri. It's like, even with RDJ playing in Doom, he cannot take his mask off. And I don't want to see him take his mask off, because that's what adds to the lore of Doom, right? He never takes off his mask.
No, that's part of his signature.
So I don't know.
And that kind of, before we go to, that leads me to, I said this to you on the phone. And you guys, you might agree, you might disagree, but that's why I told you, I said, what if, and on Thunderbolts, when we seen that Fantastic Four ship, we don't know if that was Fantastic Four. That could have been Doom.
True.
Everyone assumed it was the Fantastic Four.
We did. Yeah.
So it'll be crazy to see how that plays out.
Yeah. No, sorry, I'm getting distracted in the comments here. So
yeah, I was looking at the comments too.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, so, and then this kind of was a question that we asked at the very top of the show here was, did this do enough to set up the next set of movies, right? Next movie is supposed to be here, I believe, Spider-Man Brand New Day.
I believe so.
That is then supposed to lead into what is Avengers Doomsday. Then, of course, we're supposed to be having Secret Wars after that. I
personally don't think it did.
As much as so once again, I find a lot of gripes with this movie, right? I still, once again, enjoyed the movie. I would go watch it again in the theaters. Like, 8 out of 10 for me personally. Like, I enjoyed the movie. But I looked at this movie and said, I don't think this moved the needle, or this really did anything to really set us up to get to the next phase. And if we had seen, Tony had mentioned this on Friday. He was like, if we had just seen Doom, a green little magical beam or whatever comes in and hit Galactus, and that's how they were able to win in that movie, we'd have been like, oh, shoot, Doom, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then we would have been, oh my gosh, like, yo, Doom.
Bro, even without that, they could have had, for the mid-credit scene, Doom playing chess, and you see all the pieces on the chessboard as all the heroes he wants to start bringing in. That would have led up to. I don't think there's nothing here that leads on to anything future wise.
Correct. It doesn't. And what a lot of you guys are saying here is basically where I'm at. I'm like, it didn't do enough. Doom needed a credit scene like that first Avengers scene, like something like what
Mm-hmm.
you said, or what I just talked about in the movie,
Yep.
would have been a nice way to kind of set some things up. Like what Yuri's saying here, like it was a great introduction to the universe of Fantastic Four, but that's really ultimately all it really did. There's and I get what you're saying, Nigel, here. There's small seeds planted, the bridge, tile. Yeah, I get it. Like
Yep.
there's some stuff that's set up, but it didn't really lead you to say, oh my goodness, Avengers Doomsday. We have to see what happens next in Avengers Doomsday. You know what I mean?
Honestly,
apart from us knowing it's coming, there's really nothing else to it.
With that, we could have did without that mid scene. Let's be real. It was cool to see,
Yeah.
but the mid scene did not make or break anything.
No, it didn't. It didn't. And they didn't deal with Doom at all, really. Like there was no interactions there. There was no, like, what we thought we would have seen in the movie was somehow Doom pop up, and then Doom does something that causes them to have to leave that universe or forces them out of the universe. And then I don't know, something happens there, but that movie didn't do that.
So Quanos, it's not about reaching for Easter eggs. That's not the thing. But Marvel themselves have said this is the setup to lead into the next movie, and we didn't see that setup at all. That's what we're saying.
No, I don't think he's disagreeing with that. I think what he's saying is that we shouldn't have to reach that far to like see, like, okay, what are they doing? Like,
okay, got you.
It should be kind of clear at
plain
this
as
point.
Day.
Like, okay, no, this is what leads to this next. You know what I mean? Like,
okay, got you.
At the very end of Avengers Age of Ultron, where Thanos was just like, all right, fine, I'll do it myself. You know what I mean? Like
that was simple, but we knew what was coming.
Like we knew, okay, next Avengers movie, he about to open up a can of pass on him. You know what I mean? Like that's we have not seen that here yet. And that was really what Fantastic Four needed to do. That was the main goal of Fantastic Four, was to set up Avengers Doomsday.
You know what they should have did? See, they need to hire me. All we had to do was see Doom. It didn't even have to show Doom's full face. Doom working on, like, King's chair or something.
Yeah.
That would have been fire.
Yeah, or some scene or whatever where like it's in, he's in the 616 or something like that. Like just something, it's probably gonna discuss how they wanted this movie to be good, jump off and all point. And I don't think it worked to set anything up, and that's the point we're making here. I don't think it did anything to set anything up for the future.
Nothing about this makes me want to go see the new Spider-Man.
Yeah, great introduction to Fantastic Four, but like you're in a place now where you needed to set things up for the future, and I don't think it does enough to connect. And I think that was one of the things. Once again, like I went with a casual, sort of like fan here, right? In my wife, she's watched everything up until Avengers. She's watched everything. Actually, she's watched the thing sparingly even after Endgame, right? Like she's watched every movie after Avengers Endgame. She just has missed some of the shows.
Mm-hmm.
And she keeps on saying the same thing where she's just like, I don't understand how this connects to this. Like, why is this important? Is that not important? Like, what's going on here? And then same thing with Fantastic Four. It's like, okay, cool, but like, what does this do? Yeah. Like what it's supposed to be. Like she saw the end of Thunderbolts and she was like, I expected something from this that would lead into this movie, and it didn't.
I think what has to happen is I don't think Marvel can keep making stories that they want to continue and tie together and make singulars at the same time.
Yeah.
They've got to somehow make up their mind what they want to do. This saga's all single stories.
Yeah.
This saga's one big continuing story.
Yeah. And that's essentially what this is right now. This is a story that is just setting up. It's a bunch of individual stories. There's nothing specific that has us saying, okay, right, well, this is the multiverse saga. Like, I mean, really, in a lot of ways, this is the first. I think I said this on Friday, or recently. I was just like, this is the first kind of like multiverse movie, like that movie that's in a different universe, like for the entirety of a movie, right? This is the first one. Yeah, we got Multiverse of Madness. They brought people over from different universes.
Mhm.
Yes, we saw, like Shang-Chi, where there was like a different, a plane, a universe. So like we saw, of course, Spider-Man No
Miss
Way
Marvel.
Home. Yeah, there have been some things, right, but like this is the first movie where we saw like another universe almost entirely, right? This is the first
Yeah.
movie that's done that, and this is the multiverse saga. And I don't remember I'm trying to remember how many movies deep we are right now, into
I
this.
don't even know.
So yeah, Loki, yeah, and then once again, Loki's a show, right? So
Mhm.
like the general audience probably hasn't seen Loki, to kind of really understand that. So like that's a good point though. There is that. So um, there they have put themselves in a tough spot, I would say. And I think right now where I'm at is like I'm looking forward to them kind of ending the multiverse saga so that we could actually move on to them being able to
Yeah.
tell some connected stories again, because I think that this multiverse saga has been a train wreck
Oh, I
so
agree.
far, ever since it decided to no longer go with Jonathan Majors as being, well, of course, understandably so, but
No, it
ever
was
since it
never their main goal. Their main goal was always Doom.
and that Feige said that this past week, and that really upset me too. Like, I'm just like, don't insult my intelligence. You made a movie you had a movie that was titled
King
Kang
Dynasty.
Dynasty. Like, you had a movie that was titled Kang Dynasty. Now, you could have told me that, in Avengers Secret Wars or the end of Kang Dynasty, Doom came in, laid a can of whoop ass on Kang, and then that's why we got the Avengers Secret War. I'm like, yeah, you could do that. But
Mhm.
like, you had a movie called Kang Dynasty. Don't lie to me and then tell me that the plan was always Doom. That's
Get
not
facts.
that's not true.
Mhm.
Like that's not Kang is not Thanos, and therefore we needed to figure out how we can transition. No, that's not what happened. He didn't. By the way, he didn't even like in that article or that reporting. He didn't even mention Jay Majors' name. He just said the actor.
Yeah. They've been slick with that. They don't say his name at all. I brought that up to you a few months back. They don't say his name.
Yeah, which is awful. Yeah, Kang was rumored to turn
Yep.
into the Beyonder, and that was how we were
Yep.
gonna get Secret Wars, right? So like, it
And
wasn't
that was a
even
major leak.
yeah, so it wasn't even Doom. Like, I don't know, man. I'm still gonna watch the movies. I'm still gonna watch the shows because I
Yep.
love comic book stuff. So
See where
like,
it goes.
I'm still gonna do that. But what's disappointing to me is that I don't feel like they're doing enough to bring in a general population of audience. And that is how you're gonna be able to continue to keep on making these movies and making money from these movies is by doing that. So like my
For
frustration
sure.
is just like I want this to be better. I want this to be good. I want to be able to talk about this. Like I used to have conversations with my casual friends and tell them about what's going
Oh,
on
what's
in
all the
in,
time?
in Infinity War and like what led to Endgame, what
What's
happened
about to
in the
lead up
first
to?
Iron. Let me tell you what happened in the first Iron Man. Let me tell you what happened in the first Avengers movie. I used to be able to do all that stuff. Now I'm like, bro, I'm gonna be real with you. Yeah, we're not gonna see them. The Shang-Chi's rings that were a beacon. Yeah, we're probably never
We're
gonna see
getting
the
no
conclusion of that
information on
story.
that.
Yeah, we're the Bengals from Miss Marvel. Yeah, we're probably not gonna get any sort of answers on that. Oh, Doctor Strange, that's supposed to be fixing, the incursions with Clea. Yeah, we probably,
Oh no, no, nope. That's confirmed. It's still happening.
okay. Is that okay? So we're we're
So
we're, we're gonna get that. Cool.
I think that's I gotta double check. Please don't hold me to it. I think they said next year or the year after for a release, but it's not set on a date. But they are already shooting.
Okay. All right. Cool. Well, that's good then, because I think they're supposed to be doing what is it? The time runs out comic or something like that.
Yeah,
And then that was what it led into the Secret War. So cool. That's fine. Like I'm
yeah,
cool
they
with
did
that.
confirm that.
Yeah.
But all the other stuff, you are right. It's basically just deaded, which sucks
Yeah.
because people like us that put that stuff together, that was really cool.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Yeah, I think you're too sweaty. People don't want to watch a movie where there's homework involved. My wife told her mother to watch this movie because it's easy to jump in. Yeah, you say that though, but I have a lot of casual fans that are saying the opposite. They're just like, no, like, but I watched this movie already. I watched this movie, and now I want to know what's gonna go on next. Like, there's a
Yeah.
lot. Like, I think a lot of y'all like, oh, we don't like the homework, or people say that they don't want the homework. But at the same time, it's like when you've been keeping up with all these movies and they've been good, like people are fine.
Quanos Manda gave us our answer.
They put a untitled movie in between Doomsday and Secret Wars. So and that is so we have so that would be the Strange movie, I think.
That might be it. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
That makes sense.
Yeah. I think a lot of people don't mind homework, if you want to put it that way. If the movies are good, then they enjoy watching them in sequence and then eventually getting to, like my wife was locked in on these movies. Yeah, my friends were locked in on these movies. You know what I mean?
Let me add this too. My girl had no clue about Marvel at all. Was not her forte. I mean, didn't even know who Iron Man was. I introduced her to this stuff. And now she's in love with it. And she used to love being like, at the end of the movie, seeing this and be like, oh, wait, hold on. Captain America's coming next. Wait, what? Hulk's coming? Wait, hold up. Bucky's still alive. She's said it plenty of times now. She doesn't have that in the movies no more.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that was for someone who had no knowledge who came in.
See what I'm saying? People were exactly right. I had friends that went to go with me to go see Captain Marvel. Now it wasn't a great movie, but I had people who were like, yo, no, I'm going to see this with you because I need to know what's going. I want to be able to, they don't want to feel like they're missing anything, right? Because and they're excited to go watch it. Like that's the thing about it. I'm telling you, the whole homework thing, people only started complaining about homework because the content wasn't good anymore.
Yeah. Oh, Nigel, I could tell you now, she ain't lying. Listen, when I'm getting calls at work, getting cursed out because I didn't tell her like Iron Man was gonna die, listen, for almost a month and a half, I was on the S list. Okay, I was in the doghouse.
I'm gonna tell you this: when my wife is constantly sending me Easter egg videos or theory videos, I'm gonna tell you, my wife was locked in, bro. My wife was locked.
Listen,
she's sending me Easter egg videos to watch. She's sending me theory videos to watch. She was locked in.
I was getting phone calls on theories like, hold on, I didn't think about this. Hold on.
She's like, did you know about this? And I was like, yes.
I'm trying to tell you.
You just found out. Meanwhile, I'm sitting over here trying to catch up. When she's already way ahead of me, she's like, yeah, I'm telling you, like there is people don't mind homework if the content that they're doing the homework on is good.
Yeah.
What's happened recently is that it hasn't been that good. But I don't want to rag on Marvel no more, man. I want to look forward to the future. I just don't think that this did what it was supposed to do. That's all I'm saying.
I agree with that. And I think the people who don't want to do the homework are still going to enjoy it.
Yeah, but to agree with your point, yes, Fantastic Four was a great movie to jump in on. It's you don't need to know anything about anything before that.
Nope.
It's a standalone movie. It's a thing. It's its own thing. Cool. You know what I mean? Like,
can we get more thing?
Yeah, can we get a little bit more thing? Listen, we had a lot more to talk about, but we've gone over time.
Yes. I got to be up at 4:30 in the morning.
We will change the title because we only talked about Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four.
Say it. What time is it? Say it.
Fantastic Four.
It's not clobbering time. It's not a thing I say.
Oh man. But listen, we appreciate the heck out of y'all being here with us tonight. next week we'll probably just talk a lot about comics. We wanted to talk about Ultimate Spider-Man, wanted to talk about Doom. This week, by the way, there's a one-shot coming for Gods, which, by the way, was a very confusing comic for me trying to catch up with this week. So, y'all, listen, we'll see what that one-shot for One World Under Doom looks like as we move forward here. But listen, if y'all are watching the replays here, let us know down below in the comments what y'all think about Fantastic Four. Did you think it did enough to get us set up here for Avengers Doomsday? For y'all that are in the chat, we appreciate the heck out of y'all. Thank you so much for being here. Don't forget to like so that YouTube knows that, hey, this is a good video. We appreciate you doing that here for the algorithm. Also, if you're looking for ways to support the channel, you can become a channel member here on YouTube, or you can also join our Patreon. That right there is one of the best ways that you can support us so that we can continue to keep going. Or you can also check out our merch as well. The link for that is going to be down below in the description. We did come out here with a new Galactus shirt here, and also we did some celebration for Superman as well. Listen, we appreciate y'all. Thank y'all so much. And as always, thank y'all for kicking it with Keeping It Comic. You're supposed to say your line, Dezzy.
Oh man. I'll catch y'all on the next one. I was waiting for your line.
All right, y'all. Bye.